There's a certain kind of person who doesn't raise their voice even when the world is falling apart. They don't argue or panic. They don't rush to prove themselves right. They just breathe, while everyone else scrambles to make sense of the chaos. They quietly observe, like someone who's already been through this storm before. You've probably met someone like that. The kind of person who seems wrapped in stillness, untouched by noise. No matter what happens, they remain composed, grounded, and steady. If you've ever wondered why some people stay calm while others unravel, the answer runs deeper than it seems. Real calmness isn't the absence of emotion. It's what happens when emotion meets understanding. Calm people aren't numb. They simply don't react the same way anymore. After seeing enough, hurting enough, and realizing that panic solves nothing, they stop fighting storms they can't control. They learn to stand still in the rain instead. That's the psychology of calm people. They weren't born this way. They became this way. They used to be overthinkers, fixers, people pleasers. They cared too much, tried too hard, and learned, painfully, that life doesn't bend to willpower. Eventually, they stopped trying to control the ocean and learned to surf it. Calmness isn't indifference, it's emotional wisdom. Psychologists call it emotional regulation, but that phrase misses the soul of it. Calmness isn't about suppressing feelings or pretending everything's fine. It's about understanding emotion so deeply that it no longer controls you. Calm people aren't emotionless. They're emotionally fluent. They've learned the language of their minds. They can feel anger without exploding, sadness without drowning, and uncertainty without losing balance. Because deep inside, a quiet voice whispers, "This too will pass." That voice isn't blind optimism. It's memory. The memory of surviving what once felt impossible. It's the wisdom that panic doesn't heal, and that peace isn't found in control, but in acceptance. Many mistake calmness for coldness, but true calm often hides deep compassion. Calm people are the ones who hold space for others when everyone else is panicking. They're the ones who say it's okay and mean it. Not because they don't care, but because they understand that chaos is temporary. There's a quiet strength in restraint. The strength of knowing that not every insult deserves a reply. Not every storm deserves fear. Not every battle deserves your energy. It's the strength of choosing peace, even when your instincts want to fight. So why can some people stay so composed, while others are easily overwhelmed? The answer lies partly in the brain. The amygdala, the center of fear and emotion, becomes more balanced through mindfulness and experience. It still senses danger, but no longer hijacks the system. The prefrontal cortex, the rational part, steps in before emotion takes over. Calm people have trained their minds to pause between feeling and reacting. That pause is their superpower. It's why they can hear something hurtful and not lash out. It's why they can sit in silence without needing to fill it. It's why, even in chaos, they can still hear themselves think. In that pause lives wisdom, the moment between stimulus and response where self-control is born. Most calm people learn this the hard way, through heartbreak, disappointment, and exhaustion. At some point, they got tired of their own chaos. They grew weary of overreacting, regretting, apologizing. They realized peace was more valuable than being right. So they began choosing silence over shouting, breathing over blaming, release over resentment. Their calmness isn't easy, it's earned. Forged in pain, not perfection. Built in long nights and quiet breakdowns. But in that process, they discovered that peace isn't a reward for an easy life. It's a discipline for surviving a difficult one. Calm people think differently. They're guided by perspective, not impulse. They don't chase validation or control. They chase meaning. They've realized that reacting to everything makes you a prisoner of everything. The calmer you are, the freer you become. Psychologists call this response flexibility, the ability to choose your reaction rather than be ruled by it. Calm people master this skill. They don't suppress emotion, they channel it. They let the energy move through them without letting it destroy them. That's why they seem composed during crises, but fall apart quietly afterward, not out of pretense, but timing. They know when to act and when to feel. Their calmness isn't a mask. It's an internal compass. They don't deny emotion, they direct it. They've learned that perspective is power. While most people see chaos, they see patterns. Where others see endings, they see beginnings disguised as change. They zoom out, seeing the big picture instead of getting lost in the moment. Look closely at calm people, and you'll notice something. They've already lived through what breaks others. They just learned not to live inside that pain anymore. They understand that peace begins the moment you stop trying to control what's uncontrollable. They're not detached from life. They're anchored deeper in it. They've stopped being tossed by every wave because they've become the ocean itself. Calmness to them is sacred energy, spent wisely on what builds, not breaks. When insulted, they pause. When misunderstood, they explain if it's worth it, and walk away if it's not. When life gets heavy, they lean on faith, time, and perspective. That's what makes them magnetic. Their peace doesn't come from knowing all the answers. It comes from not needing to. Because calmness is not passivity. It's control in its purest form. The control of self. Calm people separate the external world from their internal one. The world can be cruel and loud, but their inner space is inviolable. Calm people live in the space between stimulus and response. That's where their strength lies. That tiny pause where they decide whether to feed chaos or peace. Calmness isn't found, it's created. Built moment by moment, choice by choice, breath by breath. Every calm person you meet has practiced it, in sleepless nights, in difficult conversations. In moments, they could have exploded, but didn't. They've trained themselves to be unshaken. Not because life stopped testing them, but because they stopped failing the same emotional tests. Ask a calm person what changed them, and they might say, I just got tired. Tired of overthinking. Tired of defending. Tired of wasting energy on what didn't matter. So they started valuing peace, like oxygen. The world celebrates loud success, but rarely honors quiet strength. Yet it's the calm ones who carry the most wisdom. They're the ones who sit in stillness long enough to actually hear what life is trying to say. They notice more than they speak. Silence sharpens perception. Calm people are emotional translators. They hear intention behind words, see wounds behind behavior, sense energy beneath actions. That's why talking to them feels like therapy. You feel understood, not judged. Their stillness gives them clarity, and that clarity gives them empathy. Stillness takes strength. It's hard to remain soft when the world keeps trying to harden you. But calm people do it anyway. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. They've learned that peace isn't the absence of problems, but the ability to face problems without losing yourself. They build calm through small rituals, morning routines, quiet walks, mindful pauses. These aren't habits by accident, they're anchors. Repetition creates stability, and stability protects the mind. Without stillness, the mind spins stories. With it, the truth becomes clear. Calm people are often deeply emotional souls. They just express differently. Their sadness becomes reflection. Their anger becomes clarity. Their fear becomes faith. That transformation, emotion, into awareness, is the heart of calmness. Staying calm also changes how others treat you. You become harder to manipulate. Chaos can't control someone who refuses to react. That's the paradox. Calmness confuses those who feed on drama. It's quiet rebellion. Calm people don't rush to conclusions. They let truth unfold. They respect time, because time reveals what emotion hides. They know patience isn't inaction. It's wisdom disguised as delay. Ask them how they stay calm, and they'll say, I stopped fighting everything. What they mean is, they stopped fighting life. They let go of the need to control outcomes, rewrite the past, predict the future. They started trusting themselves to handle whatever comes. That's the secret of calmness, trust. Not in perfect outcomes, but in personal resilience. They've survived enough storms to know they'll survive the next. That's why calm people radiate quiet confidence, not loud or showy, just presence. You feel safe around them. Their energy says, we don't have to rush. We can just be. Even calm people lose their balance sometimes. They get angry, they break down. But they always return to stillness. That's the difference. They don't live inside the emotion. They move through it. Awareness, acceptance, release. They've learned that emotions are waves, not walls. You can't stop them from coming, but you can choose how to surf them. And in that choice lies freedom. The calmer you become, the more clearly you see people, patterns, purpose. You begin to value simplicity, gentle souls, and unhurried days. You stop needing noise to feel alive. You realize peace isn't outside you. It's the quiet strength within. Because calmness isn't emptiness. It's fullness without noise. It's power without aggression. It's emotion without chaos. And it's the rarest strength of all. The kind that doesn't need to prove itself.